Pada praktikum basis data 2 kali ini, kita akan belajar mengenai bab 24, Creating Procedures. Tujuan pembelajaran. Yang pertama, distinguish anonymous PL/SQL blocks from named PL/SQL blocks subprograms. Describe subprogram. List the benefits of using subprograms. List the different environments from which subprograms can be invoked. Describe PL/SQL blocks and subprograms. Describe the uses of procedures. Create procedures. Differentiated between formal and actual parameters. List the features of different parameters modes. Create procedures with parameters. Invoke a procedure. Handle exception in procedures. And remove a procedure. SQL Program Construct. This is the header, is or as or declare, statement, begin, statement, exception, statement, and. Overview of Subprograms. A subprogram is a named PL/SQL block can accept parameters and be invoked from a calling environment. A procedure can perform an action, a function that computes as a value. Is of two types, is based on standard PL/SQL block structure, provides modularity, reusability, extensibility, and maintainability, provides easy maintenance, improved data security and integrity, improved performance, and improved code clarity. Block structure for anonymous PL/SQL blocks. Declare optional. Declare PL/SQL objects to be used within this block. Begin mandatory. Define the executable statements. Exception optional. Define the action that take place if an error or exception arises. And majority. Block structure for PL/SQL subprograms. Header is as subprogram specification, declaration section, begin executable section, exception optional, exception section, and codes by n. PL/SQL subprograms. And this is PL/SQL subprograms, code repeated more than once in a PL/SQL programs. And this is subprogram P, which contains the repeated code PL/SQL program invoking the subprogram at multiple locations. Benefit of subprograms. First, easy maintenance, improved data security and integrity, improved performance, improved code clarity. Developing subprograms by using SQL Plus is this. The first is the SQL and then browse and click load script, and this is the enter the statement by the loading of the log exec and then execute. Invoking stored procedure and function. And this is Oracle Portal, Oracle Discoverer, Oracle Forms Developer. What is a procedure? A procedure is a type of subprogram that performs an action. A procedure can be stored in the database as a schema object for repeated execution. Syntax for creating procedure is like this: create or replace procedure, procedure name, parameter 1, mode data type, parameter 2, mode data type, is or as PL/SQL block. The replace option indicates that if the procedure exists, it will be dropped and replaced with the new version created by statement. PL/SQL block starts with either begin or the declaration of local variables and ends with either an or an procedure name. Developing procedure. This is the developing procedures editor code to create procedure in SQL Plus, load and execute file.sql, in Oracle source code compile, P code procedure created execute, and this is used show errors to view compilation errors. Formal versus actual parameters. Formal parameters is a variable declared in the parameter list of a subprogram specification. Example, create procedure array cell, p underscore id type number, p amount number, and this is the statement, and array cell. Actual parameters is a variables or expression reference in the parameter list of subprogram call. Example, res underscore cell, v underscore id 2000. Procedural parameters modes, and this is procedure in parameter, out parameter in out parameter, calling environment, declare, begin, exception, and creating procedures with parameters, and this is in default mode. Out must be specified, in out must be specified. Values is put into subprogram, returned to calling environment, passed into subprogram, returned to calling environment. Formal parameter act as a constant, initialized variable, initialized variable. Actual parameter can be a literal expression, constant, or initialized variable. Must be a variable, must be a variable. Can be assigned a default value, cannot be assigned a default value, cannot be assigned a default value. In parameters example, and this is 176 as a PID, create or replace procedure array salary, p underscore id in employees.employee id percent type is begin update employees set salary equals salary asterisk 1.10 where employee id equals PID and raise salary and closed by slash. Out parameters example, calling environment, query employee procedure 171 put to p and id, p name is Smith, p salary 2,400 and p commission is 0.15. Out parameter example is create or replace procedure query employee, PID in employees.employee ID type, p name out employees.last name, p salary out employees.salary, pcom out employees.commission pct is begin select last name salary commission pct into p name p salary pcom from employees where employee ID equals PID and query employee. View out parameters. Load and run the employee query.sql script file to create the query employee procedure. Declare host variables, execute the query employee procedure, and print the value of the global gname variable. And this is variable gname varchar 25, variable gsal number, variable gcom number, execute query employee 171, keyname, gsal, gcom, print gname, and this is the execution. In-out parameters, calling environment, format point procedure, create or replace procedure format point, p.no in-out varchar is begin p.no, substring p.no 1 to 3, substring .4 3, substring p.no 7, and format point. Viewing in-out parameters, variable g.no varchar 15 begin g.no equals 80063300575 and slash print g.no execute format point g.no print g.no, and this is the example. Methods for passing parameters. Positional lists actual parameters in the same order as formal parameters. Named is list actual parameters in arbitrary order by associating each with its corresponding formal parameters. Combination lists some of the actual parameters as positional and some as named. Default option for parameters. Create or replace procedure at department. Pname in department.department name, default unknown. plog in department.location ID, default 1700 is begin insert into department ID, department name, location ID, values, department sequence next file, pname, location, and at department and closed by /. Example of passing parameters. Begin at department training 2500 at department plog equals 2040 and 400 pname education plog 1200 closed by n / select department ID, department name, location ID from departments. Declaring subprograms. Create or replace procedural leave employee to PID in employees.employee ID. Type is procedure. Log assoc is begin insert into log table. User ID, log date, values, user sysdate, and log assoc. Begin delete from employees where employee ID equals PID, log assoc, and leave employee to. Invoking a procedure from an anonymous SQL block. Declare VID number equals 163. Begin raise salary VID. This is an invoke procedure, commit and closed by n. Invoke a procedure from another SQL block. Create or replace procedure process employees is cursor. Employee cursor is select employee ID from employees. Begin for employee rec in employee cursors loop. Raise salary employee rec.employee ID and loop commit and closed by and process employees. Handled exception. This is the handled exception calling procedure and proc2 argument 1. Procedure proc2 is begin exception and proc. This is control returns to calling procedure, and this is exception raised, exception handled. Handled exception. Create procedure. P2 in step. P log ID number is feeded number. Begin. DBMS output line procedure 2 ins department started. Insert into department values 5 department 5 145 P log ID where employee ID 999 and create procedure P1 ins log PLID number PCD factor 2 is PCD factor 2 30 VD name factor 2 30. Begin DBMS output line main procedure P1 ins log insert into location ID CD values P lead P CD select CD into V CD from location where location ID equals PLID. DBMS output line inserted CD V CD. DBMS output line invoking the procedure P2 ins department PLID. Exception when no data found, then DBMS output line no site department or location for any employee. Unhandled exception. This is unhandled exception is the difference for handled exception, and this is exception unhandled. There is no exception unhandled in this segment. Unhandled exception, and this is the difference. The exception is no handled. Removing procedures. Drop a procedure stored in database. Syntax drop procedure name. Example drop procedure raise salary. Sekarang kita memasuki ke sesi latihan soal. Untuk soal yang pertama, buat prosedur add job untuk menambahkan baris data baru ke dalam tabel jobs. Prosedur memiliki dua parameter yang menampung kode job dan nama job. Untuk mengerjakan soal yang pertama, kita awali dengan membuka salah satu web browser. Selanjutnya, kita masuk ke SQL Plus dan kita login dengan menggunakan user HR. Selanjutnya, kita ketikkan create or replace procedure at the name is add jobs ID jobs dot job ID job name jobs dot job title is begin. Insert into jobs job ID job title values ID job name and close by and add job. And then terus kita lihat hasilnya, maka akan muncul informasi bahwa prosedur telah berhasil dibuat. Berikutnya, kita akan menambahkan job, yaitu dengan mengetikkan begin add job. Di sini kita berikan ID jobnya, yaitu misalnya IT 2D4A. Dan di sini namanya adalah job title-nya, kita beri nama misalnya Amin Endah. Selanjutnya, kita tutup dengan N dan kita jalankan. Maka akan muncul informasi bahwa prosedur telah berhasil dilakukan. Untuk mengeceknya, maka kita dengan mengetikkan select bintang from jobs where job ID sama dengan IT 2D4A, dan kita lihat hasilnya. Dan ini adalah hasilnya, job ID IT 2D4A, job title-nya Amin Endah. Selanjutnya, untuk soal yang nomor 2, buat prosedur update job untuk memodifikasi data pada tabel job. Prosedur memiliki dua parameter, kode job dan nama job yang baru. Buat exception handling untuk menangani kode job yang tidak ada pada tabel jobs. Berikan pesan bahwa kode job tidak ada dalam tabel jobs. Jalankan prosedur untuk mengganti kode job ITDBA diganti dengan titel data administrator. Cobalah dengan kode job yang tidak ada pada tabel jobs, misal kode job sama dengan IT web, dan perhatikan apakah exception handling telah berjalan dengan benar. Untuk menjawab soal yang nomor 2, sebelumnya saya telah menyiapkan script SQL-nya. Di sini kita akan load. Nah, pada script SQL ini terdapat set server output on, create or replace procedure, update job, kode jobs.job ID, %type, kemudian job name dari tabel jobs.job title, %type is null exception, begin update job, set job title sama dengan job name, where job ID sama dengan kode. If SQL not found, then raise null x, and if exception when null x, then dbms output.put line kode jobs tidak ada dalam tabel jobs. Kemudian kita end dari update jobs dan kita lihat hasilnya, maka akan muncul bahwa informasi prosedur telah berhasil dibuat. Selanjutnya kita akan memasukkan update jobs dengan mengetikkan begin update job IT proc dengan administration dengan data administration. Selanjutnya kita tutup dengan end dan kita jalankan. Maka akan muncul bahwa prosedur telah berhasil dibuat. Dan untuk melihatnya, maka dengan mengetikkan select bintang from jobs where job ID sama dengan IT proc. Dan kita lihat hasilnya. Maka di sini untuk job title-nya telah berhasil kita update menjadi data administration. Namun, kita akan mencoba memasukkan data yang tidak ada pada tabel jobs. Misalnya, update job. Untuk job ID-nya kita masukkan IT web. Dan kita ganti dengan dan kita jalankan, maka exception akan dijalankan, yaitu kode jobs tidak ada dalam tabel jobs. Sekian untuk pertemuan kali ini.